Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Championship Series America Challenger. I'm Nathanius, joined by Cats. Once again, we're back at it for the second half of today's show. And don't worry, we got plenty of cheesy zergs to bring you, as well as a couple of cool Protoss players, one that converted from Terran, too.
He sure did, Nathanius, and this is America that they fight for. Some of them for Canada, of course, but mostly for America.
It's North America.
It's North America.
That's the cop-out. I could just, you guys just let me say America.
It is America.
Even more. Of course, we had qualifiers and all that led into this, so just in case you've somehow only just started tuning into this, players qualified over some very long games for the American region, and we had a bunch of people in the group stage. They're playing to get into the bracket. The bracket will conclude on May 13th for the North American region, and the winner of that will be crowned the King of NA.
The absolute undisputed.
They will get that tinsel crown of King of NA.
Oh, they sure will.
With a bunch of money, too.
It's a heavy crown to burden.
Yeah.
Anyone.
To be the King of NA takes a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah. Neeb was up there as of recently, but right now I think that it's up in the air.
Yeah.
Could be, will it be Scarlets? Will it be Pucks? Perhaps
the question will be answered in a few weeks' time as we get to the final group. We take a look at the way that things will be sorted out, the matches, the way that it works. Every region has groups. The groups are best of threes, 4 players per group, 2 advance, 2 go home. If you've ever watched GSL or literally any other StarCraft tournament ever, you know the format. We're good. We are good.
Yeah, if you've been following throughout the day, you also probably do. This should be...
So it's going to be super straight up. We're just going to have our first 2 matches, then the losers will play, then the winners will play, and then the winners of the losers and the losers of the winners will play each other.
Yeah, I do like something about this format, that it's not shy in calling the losers for what they are at a given point in time, and the winners, of course.
You know, we don't do participation trophies here, except if you manage to qualify. Let's take a look at that prize pool, as we've got $10,000 at stake. And of course, 9th through 16th, you do get some money. Although you did, it's not just a participant. You had to win a qualifier to actually get here.
This is actually true. And in the case of North Americans, some of those qualifiers were long.
Yes, some of those qualifiers, I mean, you're basically working for overtime on those. We have the group laid out. We're going to take a look at the schedule. Our first match will be some ZvZ. That's why we've got Cats here, so I don't look too stupid. Followed by Puck versus RAZE, PvP. RAZE used to play Terran, but he's taken the smart route out, and apparently he's doing better than he ever has because he's in Challenger now with it.
He sure is. I don't know that he qualified with Terran for...
I've never seen him in WCS. I have no recollection of him in WCS before this, so if he made it into Challenger...
Some races just suit players better, Nate.
So, our first matchup that we're going to look at is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg. And this group is funny for us because we have players like NoRegreT here in Group D in America. And Bioice, players that can be very aggressive. I think NoRegret's a player to keep our eyes open for in this group, Paolo.
Oh, most certainly. Perhaps the only professional player that hotkeys his opponent's natural as his main first camera hotkey.
You would think that he's just cheating, but in reality, he's just at the beginning of the game. He knows he wants to go straight over to your base. Very exciting times. We've already got the first lobby ready to go. This series is going to start off on Catalyst. It's ZvZ for the ages. NoRegreT known for being extremely aggressive, extremely cheesy. We were talking backstage about Bioice being aggressive as well, but I don't.
Fear Dragon was actually sharing an interesting fact with us. It so seems that between these two, there's an Anakin Palpatine thing going on.
Yeah.
Bioice was actually the teacher of NoRegreT, the one that introduced him to the game, the one who taught him how to cheese.
He taught him. He said, he's like, there was a Zerg who was powerful enough that he could defeat any opponent without building a lair. And NoRegreT asked, can anyone learn this power? And he said, not from a macro player. It's how NoRegret's legacy was born in StarCraft 2. As he
was, and now
his goal in life is to win.
Two-time participant.
To just win and win and win. Yeah, and he's been in GSL. He qualified in GSL. So sick.
Yeah, one of those videos was so funny when he qualified and he was going around telling the Koreans, I just beat Trap. And everyone would go, really?
Yeah.
Like maybe
it's pretty
three
sick.
different Koreans were like, really?
He's
of
so
course,
proud.
really.
He's so proud of his cheese, our blue player in the Southeast, that unlike those people that have like trophies for every like, you know, deer they hunt or something like that, or like trophy that they win, he gets himself like negative marks and he keeps them on his wall for every time he gets a third base or a lair because he just doesn't like playing long games. He is NoRegreT.
He sure is. And Mr. Jackson himself in the top left-hand side corner and playing for Sloth Esports. It is Bioice. Can you say his last name? Go.
Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
Ah, convenient, huh?
It looked like Robleski or something. I don't
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure you got it right. Yeah. I did not know how to pronounce that, and you said it, and I was like, yeah.
As far as I know, Bioice is from Eastern U.S., right? I think so.
Yes, I think so. That sounds almost Polish, but I don't want to be wrong.
I'm not. I mean,
no,
you can have a name from anywhere and be American.
Right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Ascendance.
Yeah. I think I'm the only fabricant I've ever met. I might be the only one anyone I've ever met has ever met.
You might just be fabricating that.
That's true.
Kipo. So we have
well,
safe. Both players know each other so well. They're actually going just for a safe route here for the most part.
Okay, but we know that the aggression will tune up at some point here.
Oh yeah.
I don't expect to see NoRegreT play the crazy long game where he tries to get up to 7 bases and make a slow push with Broodlords and Infestors and Vipers and Corruptors and all that jazz.
Definitely. Bioice also is known to throw in some wrenches. I've seen him through different periods of time. The guy's been around for a long time. He is a high-level NA player, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, Bioice is he's a very good Zerg. This guy, I don't ever beat him. Even when I thought I was getting decent, I still couldn't beat this guy. Bioice is very solid NA Zerg.
He is solid, and he has his own spice to him. I wouldn't be surprised, for example, to see some upgrades mixed in for Lings, perhaps, for the Link-Bane fights. Not this game, of course. Doesn't look likely anymore, but throughout the series, throughout the day, perhaps.
Yeah, a lot of options available. But at least for ZvZ, we're going to get the Queens out. Ling Speed's going to become a thing. NoRegreT has not started Ling Speed, Cats. What is he doing?
I am not sure, man. He might... Oh! That is a fast lure if I've ever seen one, and just now puts an extra 2 drones on the gas.
If I was tasteless, I would just start screaming right now for a solid 20 seconds.
I don't know what's going on!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Dad!
NoRegreT is so creative! Alright, let's see what he does. He's got the Evo Chamber up front. And at some point, you gotta ask yourself, if you're Bioice, you're like, well, if he does the same thing as me, then his speed should be done at the same time. But he hasn't shown his Lings, so you don't really know where that is.
Man, what is this by NoRegreT? I am perplexed.
Well, I mean, you don't really... Nidus memes in ZvZ when he doesn't even have a Roach Warren?
I don't know. I mean,
+1 range. There's the Roach Warren.
Okay.
I mean, I guess.
It's gonna be a Roach timing. 2 base, +1.
Roach speed?
Roach speed, yes. The links are done now for Bioice. He will confirm. And this is actually, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Maybe if the cheeser don't cheese, that is the biggest cheese.
I mean, you say that, but if this game goes really long, I will start to favor Bioice.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, NoRegreT is going, I think, for a very committed timing attack still. Bioice taking the 3rd. Did he commit to a Baneling Nest? This is actually important information.
No, did not see a Baneling.
That is great for Bioice. So
yeah.
He does have a Baneling.
Bioice has one.
This is rough, man. I mean, we saw a similar attack from Elaser onto Stefano earlier, and that ended things swiftly. So will NoRegreT be able to do the same thing? Now, this is a risky 3rd, and this is exactly why, right? Like, your Roaches aren't out yet. You know your opponent has Link Speed. This is kind of inexperience almost, I feel like. It's like, 3rd base? What? 3rd? You need to defend it? Yes, you need to defend the 3rd base, NoRegreT.
Oh, drone gets picked off too.
Yeah, and now there's the Roaches. Now he can actually take that 3rd base.
Yeah. So Roach speed is about halfway done. That +1 missile attack is closing into. So the big advantage here of this strategy is that with the Roach speed, his opponent can't disengage, right? Like, that's usually what we talk about. It's easier to chase. If you get enough Roaches, your opponent can't really micro that effectively.
Absolutely. It's a positional advantage on the retreat. You will bleed out too much. So basically, if your opponent wants to take a fight, they'll take a fight. You can't run away. That's it. And your opponent gets to poke as well, gets to force out units. So I don't know. I kind of like NoRegreT's position here.
Yeah. He does lose the queen by that third, but I mean, the third doesn't really seem to be something that he really cares about. It's more like, hey, I'm not all-inning you, so you don't have to worry about anything third.
Yeah,
But we know in reality, Bioice hasn't been fooled. He's building a bunch of lings. He's getting roaches out. And while he won't have that roach speed upgrade...
This is actually borderline perfect by Bioice. I mean, the guy has 3 more workers than NoRegreT. He's not looking for a huge economic lead. He identified what he was going up against, and he started preparing for it instantly. His +1 is actually going to finish now.
Yep, and with both of the players having that upgrade, roach speed is nice, but that positional advantage isn't really that effective when you're trying to kill the other player. Maybe if he tries to split up his forces and go between all the bases, but even that doesn't guarantee him anything, and it's still difficult to capitalize on that the way that you want to.
Absolutely, and Bioice will also get confirmation that there's additional roaches going on, and he will continue to make roaches. Now mixing in some drones, but with this set of drones, I was going to say NoRegreT was going to take a lead, but I think they'll just even out towards the end now. Bioice, however, with a considerably later roach speed, but after deflecting that first aggression from NoRegreT, a lot of his investment, NoRegreT's that is, went into that tech. It didn't pay off, but also Bioice didn't undercommit by any means. He didn't overcommit either. It was just a clean defense, but a lot of investment on both ends. Game's even.
Oh, look at this. He might barely see these roaches with his Overlord while he gets a ling run by into that third base, taking out a good handful of NoRegreT's drones. And the roaches are starting to reposition because his Overlord saw this attack coming, and NoRegreT is just going to take this fight. And I do believe that there are more roaches here for Bioice, so he should be able to defend this easily.
Yeah, I think that it can be deceitful when you have that concave, but oh man, this is actually pretty close. All right, Bioice will push out.
And defender's advantage. I feel like what he was trying to do is get around the outside. If this Overlord hadn't seen him and the roaches were still in the center, maybe he runs them from like up here and just tries to snipe the hatch and run away. But
or even just some drones, any sort of advantage. But yeah, that Overlord was clutch.
Yeah. Just barely saw a few of those roaches, and he's like, I know what's going on. I got this. The
Very
plus
nice move.
1 Carapace is like, I guess, what he's trying to look for in terms of getting an edge back in this game.
Yep, +1 Carapace will actually delay. It's basically as efficient, I believe, as the +1 or +2 attack. A little bit more expensive than the +1 attack, equally as expensive as the +1 or +2 attack. And in efficiency, what I mean is, given that the roaches are full health, it'll take 1 extra hit from +1 or +2 roaches to take down a roach with +1 Carapace.
Yeah. So upgrades, never a bad way to try to get that edge. And we can see that both players are still just leaning real heavily on those roach counts. Let's take a look at the total number of roaches. We've got 37, or excuse me, 39 to 43. And both players are still just building them up. So let's take a look. When they get into the fight, I feel like this is an easier thing to follow when the fight happens, is just look at the total number of roaches rather than try to see which ones are vomiting on each other the fastest.
Absolutely, and like 2 ships in the night, they will pass each other. I think NoRegreT gets a slight advantage in that he's going to hit Bioice earlier, and he's going to go into the much more susceptible natural base. This is a higher target. The lair's there, yeah, and it cuts down the options of Bioice. Bioice needs to move fast. Right now, you need to make decisions like go in. Beautiful decision right there by NoRegreT. It's about priorities, but what?
No, he didn't kill the Roach Warren, so Bioice can still produce roaches. He's going to insta-gib NoRegreT's Roach Warren, and the production has been put in a very awkward spot.
Awkward indeed, as Bioice will be able to produce a few more roaches, but NoRegreT is trying to fortify his main base. This is a brilliant decision by NoRegreT as well. He basically says, okay, this is happening. Oh, maybe a little bit too late. I thought those spines might be ready to finish. This was the right idea. If you make the spines at the main when he starts attacking your third base, and you go into a base trade, fantastic.
At least cancel him, dude. You don't have any monies.
Yeah, my
All right, did drones get away? We have a few roaches still running. No drones that I can see out of the larva either.
Yeah, 13 workers still, or 12 now for Bioice. One of them will get picked off.
Where are his? Okay, he has a few drones on the map. NoRegreT has a few drones. He has enough minerals to build 1 hatchery.
I believe he still has an upgrade advantage too, right?
Yes, he still has the Carapace.
So NoRegreT.
Oh, Bioice did get drones across as well.
Yeah. I mean, if they reestablish, I kind of really like what Bioice is doing right now. He's saying, if you want to come up this choke, you know, you can't come up this choke.
Yeah.
So hold your desires, I guess. And if he has more drones, which is the case, if they both go for a longer... Oh my god. No, Jake.
He didn't even finish off all of those units there, yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. And I mean, this is an awkwardly placed hatchery, maybe a little bit too rushy. I'm not sure what Bioice is doing with his position here. I mean, Bioice does not want to take a fight, but I'm not sure he necessarily knows that because he doesn't necessarily know how many drones NoRegreT has.
Yeah, he doesn't know what exactly he's up against in terms of the setup.
Now, if Bioice knew, hey, I have 10 workers, or now 9 to 8 work, make it 8 workers to 2, that's a gigantic advantage, especially given that their armies are pretty similar. I like what NoRegreT is doing in containing Bioice like this. It might give Bioice the wrong idea. Bioice might be thinking, oh man, is he ahead? Right? So Bioice needs to look for that hatchery, needs to look for the saturation of NoRegreT, and then just kind of sit back, maybe make a hatchery that mines that base a little bit more efficiently, and take it from there. Now, with all that said, that hatchery, if it was placed properly, NoRegreT's moving in.
Oh wow, he's just gonna demo top of this army. Now there are more roaches for Bioice. The only difference here was that +1 armor, and I don't think that that's gonna be enough for him to actually win this fight.
No, Bioice has done it.
Yeah, well there you go. You're right though. He was trying to posture for a position that made NoRegreT, or excuse me, that made Bioice think that he was being contained.
Yes.
And I think Bioice, he just moved one of his overlords or something. He's like, wait, I've got like a lot more roaches than you.
Yeah,
so
maybe he even spotted the drones of NoRegreT, and you're just fine sitting back. Now, if you're just fine sitting back, I would have much rather seen Bioice just take the top of his base, because there's no way NoRegreT ever breaks that.
Right.
Right. If you miscount it, or if the upgrade surprise you, or hell, if you misclick and miss one volley, right?
Yep.
There's no way that he could have broken the high ground. So I like NoRegreT's decisions. He tried to bait Bioice into that mind game, right? Saying, hey, come at me because I have a lot of stuff. And Bioice like, nah. So NoRegreT moves in, loses. 3 base play.
The upgrade advantage, not enough. And his opponent was mining way too much and didn't even take out all of the other buildings that were around. So tough break there. Bioice is a very good NA Zerg, and I think talking about the relationship that these players have, it's not as cut and dry as, oh yeah, he just does this or he just does that.
There's always two, a student and a master.
And that's another thing about NA as well, is I think it's like there's a common trope that any NA player can beat any other NA player in like a random match just because of how weird the mind games can get and the predictions on what other people do when you play against each other all the time.
Absolutely. And Bioice is one of those players that's very underrated. I feel like NA has a lot of those players in that group where they're not quite as strong as, say, Hearthstone, right?
Yeah.
Or like the players that aren't qualifying for EU, but they're one step below, and there's a lot of them.
They're not players that a lot of you guys may know because you don't see them playing the biggest tournaments, but as far as NA itself goes, players like Bioice, Game Time,
RAZE himself here.
RAZE, Star Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's quite a few. Ravi will name absolutely every single one.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows too much.
He knows too much. We have to take care of him.
He studied the dark arts of NA.
We must take care of him. He knows too much.
Well, I don't know that there's a... All right, well, let's just get into this game. We've got Blackpink. Bioice is in the top right. Our red Zerg player, who is leading this series. 1 map right now. His opponent in the bottom left is...
Tried to macro. His name says NoRegreT. But his actions say otherwise.
Does he, though? Does he have no regrets?
I don't think that. I mean, he's going for this very fast gas pool. He is like, macro, no, never again.
I made a mistake. I took a 3rd base.
Yeah.
Never again.
Never again. So we'll see how this pans out. I mean, this is such a strong build order. And if Bioice goes again for the hatch gas pool, he could be in a lot of trouble. The thing about hatch gas pool is that it sets you up for... the Link Bane Wars as well as you could be set up for them, right? Because you have your speed very fast, it's a little bit greedy of a build. The problem with it, and now he's going up to 18 supply, right? The problem with it is that in defending this 13-12 aggression, potentially with Banelings accompanying it, you're going to be mining this gas with, again, I've said it before, 4.5 drones, the 3 mining it, the 1 that makes it, and the cost of the extractor. And that's not going to kick in for the attack. It's completely irrelevant. That speed, that gas, it would be much better spent just getting more minerals, getting more immediate impact, such as an extra queen, a spine, more lings, right? Because that's what's going to hold the attack.
Yep. And that's going to make it really difficult. The Overlord is going to see these lings coming across now for Bioice. So now he has some idea of what's going on. What will the reaction be? What will the response be?
He's still mining the gas. Very confident in his ability to... I mean, if he defends, the gas does provide him with some advantages, some very clear advantages. If he defends, he almost just wins the game outright.
Yeah.
If he defends well enough, because he will have the possibility to counterattack, then you're forcing additional buildings from NoRegret that he wouldn't have liked to make. Whereas if he is gasless, NoRegret can kind of sit back and catch back up potentially.
So the drones are going to come down and try and help hold on to the natural expansion, getting into fisticuffs with these Zerglings.
Indeed they are. Bioice, important to note also, he mined 100 gas, but he's not spending that gas. And the reason for that is he would rather use the minerals in making these units that we've talked about. The extra queens, the links, the spine that he's made.
At this point, getting the link speed is just a little bit pricey. The drones will not be able to fight anymore after these Banelings finish up, so Bioice is going to need to try and get his forces out of there as NoRegret continues to try and break him. The queens are covering the ramp, as we talked about.
Has the student become the master?
That's the question. Has Bioice learned enough to be able to defend his own master's cheese?
Oh my god, the
blow up.
Big mistake.
And now he's retreated to the spine crawler. The Lings do get through, but one of the queens might survive here.
Those Banelings are expensive. This was a very expensive attack by NoRegret, attacking into that ramp instead of just going for what's virtually a free natural right there. Now Bioice with the confidence to actually start the link speed. Finally, he says, okay, I can spare this money now. I have a spine. My queen survived. I have enough links to take care of yours for the time being. NoRegret might try to sneak a Baneling here and there. Bioice is going to be on the lookout, Nate.
Yeah, this is a really well defended so far. And having that natural still alive, as you mentioned, is huge. The Baneling is here to try and deal with these slow Lings, though.
I like Bioice's decision there. He doesn't send one link to attack the Baneling, he sends 4. And that puts urgencies because he has a timer, right? He needs to get down that ramp. He needs to deal with that Baneling fast so that his links can defend his natural.
Yep.
Very good decision.
Really high pressure situation.
Oh, absolutely. The spine being repositioned could be the opening that NoRegret needs.
Oh, that Baneling does get a lot of Lings with that hit, but now the 3 queens hold the bottom of this ramp.
Oh.
The hatch is still alive, just barely, but the Lings are going to come in now as the spine crawler is planted.
If these Banelings had been slightly earlier, they could have caused a world of trouble
transfuse too, keeping the spine alive, and
now
another
with 3
one.
queens as well. 3 queens, still one a little bit low. I wouldn't have minded a transfuse on the queen over the spine. Now NoRegret will focus and take down the natural, actually, which is a pretty decent win. Bioice still with a significant drone advantage, so I would still say advantage heavily goes to him, but this is something to work with for NoRegret.
Yeah. I mean, imagine you make that dive and you don't get the hatchery. At that point, you're hating life. You're sour about that.
Absolutely. I feel like NoRegret has committed so heavily to this. When Bioice kind of forfeits the low ground at a point earlier in time, I feel like that's when NoRegret should just say, I'm going to take my hatch and I'm going to kill your hatch. Right? Because he had the potential to kill that hatchery. Now this cancel could be really good if he can get it, but it's gonna be close. And I don't think he's gonna get it. And if he doesn't, then he's just wasted those additional links. They could have been drones. This is huge. He's not gonna get it.
Feels bad, and guess what's happening on the other side? These Banelings that are morphing are going to get picked off, and now his hatchery's in danger. Uh-oh, one happy Baneling.
Oh, that's a very happy Baneling, actually.
A really nice pick off there.
Yeah, that's 5 links. I mean, ideally, you spread the links throughout the hatchery.
And if he had spread them, he would have been able, I think, to cancel that
Absolutely,
hatchery.
and that would have been game over right there and then.
Yeah, but this queen looks like it's gonna die, so that's a good grab at least.
Sure I mean, at least is all he needs, Nate. He's workers up ahead. He's got the faster lure, the faster tech. He's got the higher supply. He doesn't really have that much of an investment into army other than the army that's right on the face of NoRegret and outmatches for the time being NoRegret's army. So Bioice in a really strong position. He's not going to die to anything anytime soon. If he can force out... Oh! Major mess up.
That Baneling right there. That was a cash money Baneling.
Yeah, I mean, worth his weight in gold, but still, I mean, he's pretty far behind. NoRegret, that is. This 4 queens, I would love to see maybe Overlord speed and see them actually harass, because right now, defensively, there's not going to be much that they can do. That's something that I really like doing, just loading up when you make too many queens or enough queens for a defense like this. It's very difficult to utilize them offensively, right? So it's kind of like dead supply unless you do something like put them in an Overlord. Now, this is another route that you can take too. You just say, okay, I have dead supply in defense. What's a good thing that requires tons of defense?
Mutas.
Mutas!
Yeah, and the Mutalist play should be interesting to see how that goes, considering that there's not really any other options available for NoRegreT. You were talking about how far behind he was. He doesn't have a lair. He doesn't have, of course, with that, any access to things like Hydralisks or his own Mutas, so he's going to be on the defensive for a really long time, and this could make getting that third base situated really, really difficult if this catches him off guard and he gets a cancel on it. Yeah,
at the same time, NoRegreT will have information that Bioice hasn't taken a third. That has to be a giveaway of sorts. I would love to see Bioice, by the way, try to spread creep. Last time as well, he didn't spread creep between his natural and his third, especially with 4 queens available. That could end up hurting him, and he has plenty of energy right now. So that's just a decision that he's not making. It's not like he can't spread creep. There's the Spire. That's going to give him some map control, probably push out and take another base with that, anticipating that NoRegreT might do NoRegreT things by getting an extra spine.
But he's sending in a lot of Banelings.
He sure is.
Right up the front here, and trying to hit the morphing Banes. He cancels all of the Banelings that are being morphed, picks off the Spine Crawler, and gets the morphing one. The Queens are at the ramp with the Lings and Banes.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an overcommitment by Bioice, just giving NoRegreT a lot of respect and knowing that his Mutas are going to pop out soon. I would have liked to see 2 Queens at the ramp and 2 still holding maybe between the Baneling Nest and the hatchery, right?
Yeah.
They would still be protected by the Queens at the ramp to an extent, with transfuses available. And, you know, you can continue to mind your base. He's just playing it safe.
Yeah, the Mutas are now beginning to cross the map, trying to get some work done over here. Total Mutalist count is at 7 and +1 about to finish for that. Excuse me, +1 Muta about to finish. He's going to try to just deny the Spore Crawler and say, hey, I'm not going to allow you to get static defenses, and I'm going to use that to break you down, but uh-oh, we've got a lot of Lings coming over. There are Banelings. They need to get some big hits off to deal with this Ling flood from NoRegreT.
Yeah, I would have even just baited the Lings inside and then shown the Banelings.
Yeah.
Bioice kind of focus firing that hatchery could end up being a mistake. There's
yeah, he does get the Queen at the end. There is a Spore that's managed to move over, but I think if he focuses this hatch, there's no transfuse available.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Should be able to.
This was the one advantage that NoRegreT had up until this point was the potential economic lead. He made a good job, or did a good job, in identifying that his opponent was potentially maybe teching, or at least not taking a third. And so he goes for that economic lead. He takes it, but he just wasn't ready for the Mutas as quick as they came.
Yeah, and now he can move out. He can get the Overlords on the map. He had the opportunity to try and get some bounce damage on that one hatchery from that position that he was in. I'd like to see him keep moving these around, but that Spore Crawler is just going to reposition itself over towards the third.
Absolutely, a very tough position now for the Canadian Wonder.
And Bioice is just going to throw in a ton of Banes, get some Lings, and try to bust this on. Are the Banelings maybe just for killing the Spores then, so that he can kill the base?
That is very, very likely.
He doesn't have any Lings with this, so that would be my assumption.
I think he will.
Gets a really good Bane trade so far, but he wants to get the Spores and the drones. Gets one of the Spores. The Mutas are working on the other one. No transfuse available. I mean, Spores do a good amount of damage, but not enough to clean up all of these. And now the third is open for ravaging.
And this is
Bioice played a really great game. Really great series here against
great series indeed. Even the Spore, going for the Spore in the back with the Banelings, extra value, right?
Because you get the Banes, or the drones
as well, exactly. So you're forcing more out of your opponent to either pull or lose additional drones. In any case, you stand to win more. And the Mutas don't have to commit as far back, so they choose to clear the Spore in the front. Very well done by Bioice, good decisions all around. And it looks like he's going to take this one pretty handily at this point.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a whole lot he can do. Queen gets one of the Mutas before it dies. But more Mutas and more Banelings and more Lings are on the way.
Yeah, and Mutaling Bane is a very strong style, I think, resurging as of recently. Seeing as Infestors got changed. I don't want to call it so much a straight up nerf. They are a little bit different units now, but Infestors, you know, they used to be a partial answer to Mutas and Banelings in that they could hold them in place. Yeah. But now, if they get fungled,
they can still move, so it helps. It helps a lot. Well, there you go. Bioice takes the 2-0 victory over GSL Code's competitor NoRegreT.
Very unexpected.
Just another day here in NA.
Just another day here in NA.
Where we get to watch all of the best players play. Well, that's our first series here for Group D of WCS America Challenger. And I think a nice explosive, little fun ZvZ, interesting results. Bioice is a player you should have your eyes open for. I do think he's got a good shot in this group.
Yeah,
Puck
he's a fun player.
Puck is another player that I think...
This is a fun group.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting because Puck is another player for me that I've been good friends with Puck forever. I love him, but he's a player that has ups and downs that are pretty harsh. If he's having a good day, I think he stomps this group because he is good enough to do it. If he's having a mad day, he could end up getting stomped. His consistency has usually been where his issues lie.
Absolutely, and he's a very emotional player. When he feels like he's bad, he feels like he's really bad, and that mentality just plays into making you play bad. But when he feels like he's good, he'll be like, I'm playing really good right now. And, you know, like, he'll get props from like, Korean players at points and be like, oh, this guy's just as good as anyone.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like, if he's feeling bad, I'll go on the ladder, beat Puck, and I'm like, oh, that's not
having a good day. So that's going to be our next series of Protoss versus Protoss. Puck versus RAZE, another American Terran player turned into a Protoss.
So raise your pucks.
Be good. Raise your pucks, I guess.
Puck.
I mean, yeah. The RAZE would be to destroy. It'd be destroy your pucks. But all right, we'll be back with that match after a short break.
This poor town has seen its share of trials.